this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities, we're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. This is Emergency Management Associates, guys. We're here for you all day long, 7 days a week. We're on the air Monday through Friday, sometime after 4 p.m., but before 5 p.m. usually. We're here now at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time today. We're here for you, okay? We're here for you all day long, okay? That goes without saying. We've been monitoring this all day long. The things we're going to tell you are important. I want everybody to know that. I'm going to show you 2 or 3 very large earthquakes today, but I want you all to know this, okay? Our primary mission today is to talk about earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody living on the New Madrid Fault has reason to be very concerned. I'm going to show you earthquakes today that may blow you away. There is a lot of activity on the New Madrid Fault today, and I believe we're ramping up for a larger earthquake, and I believe it might be very soon. The information I'm going to show you today shows a lot of seismic activity, and the seismic activity has increased dramatically. Okay, I'm going to promise you that right now. The seismic activity on the New Madrid Fault has increased dramatically, not just almost across the board. I'm not joking, guys. Everybody needs to be concerned if you live in or around the New Madrid Fault. You know somebody there, you have relatives in that area, you need to notify them immediately and have them watch this program. This is vitally important for their safety. This is the most information that I've gotten from the New Madrid Fault in the last 6 years. Okay, I've told you before that the seismic activity has been ramping up on the Madrid fault. And today I'm going to tell you this. You need to be very concerned. Very, very concerned. I'm waiting to see if we have any more moderators here on our channel. I see my buddy Surgery from Northern Utah. Thank you for being here. Guys, I need all of you here. I need all of you here. This is imperative today. Okay, I need everybody here that we can get here. Right now, it shows we have 18 people watching our program. We have 3 thumbs up. If you like what we're doing here, you enjoy our program, please be here for a reason. Please be here for a reason. This is important. Your lives and the lives of your family, your lives of your friends that live here around the fault are very important. That's why we're here. Okay? When I started researching this today, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is very crazy, guys. Okay? I've told you before that I believe that the Madrid fault could go off within the next 2 years. It might be happening before that. I've told you about Cascadia. I thought Cascadia might go off within the next 5 years. It's also ramping up. But tonight, specifically, we're going to talk about the Madrid fault. Prior to that, I have 2 things I want to discuss with you. Okay? I am a friend of Richard Paul Evans. Richard Paul Evans is an author. I promised him that we would talk about his book that he has coming out November 4th. Okay? I'm going to show that to you right now. Okay, hold on a second. I had this all wrapped up here. And all of a sudden, it's not. Okay, there's 2 things here. First off, Richard Paul Evans has a book that's coming out on November 4th. It's called The Christmas Stranger. Okay, if you ever wanted to read a book, now is the time to do it. This is a great book. I'm not kidding. This is a very great book. You can get it from Amazon. You can pre-order it from Amazon or even Barnes & Noble. Okay, but this is a great book, The Christmas Stranger. I'm not joking, guys. I heard Richard Paul Evans read the prologue to this book. It's awesome. If you ever wondered, I'm going to be very serious here. If you ever wondered whether angels really exist, read this book. Richard Paul Evans, Christmas Stranger. It's based on a true story. Okay? It's based on a true story. If you ever thought that angels really exist, this will confirm it. Okay? A great story. Richard Paul Evans, The Christmas Stranger. Okay? I'm telling you, you won't be sorry for getting this book. It's awesome. I got a pre-arranged copy of this book, digital copy of this book, and I've been reading it, and I'm really amazed. The Christmas Stranger, November 4th, is coming out in hardback. Be here, be square. The second thing I'm very annoyed about. I'm very, very annoyed about. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you. The second thing I'm going to talk about worries me to death. Why? Because our lives depend on it. Okay? This is happening in Oregon. This is happening in Oregon. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Okay? A Portland City Council member is telling and suggesting that the National Guard members in Oregon really consider defying presidential orders. Okay? A Portland City Council member suggests National Guard members defy deployment orders in defiance of President Trump. This has got very huge legal implications, and it could land a bunch of National Guard members in jail, in military custody, and this Portland City Council member, and even possibly the mayor himself, could be charged with felonies. Could be charged with felonies. This is pretty bad. When a city council member here, anywhere in the United States, tells National Guard military members, we're talking military members here, guys. This is no joke. When a council member tells anyone or anyone else tells a military member to defy a military order, the military member could go to jail. In this case, this is a politician. Okay? Telling National Guard troops they need to make decisions based on their moral compass after a federal court ruled that President Trump could deploy them into Portland, Oregon. As we've told you before, there's a huge uprising by Antifa in Portland. Okay? Our own ICE members, Immigration Customs Enforcement people, federal law enforcement have been shot at. Portland police have been shot at. Portland police have been hurt, very seriously injured by Antifa during the past 3.5 years. That's because the left has risen up and have defied presidential orders. The left has risen up and defied the Constitution of the United States. This is bad. Okay? Portland City Council member Mitch Green said yesterday, the National Guard troops may need to make decisions based on their moral compass after a federal court ruled that President Trump could deploy them into the city. Now, if the military members decided that he or she would not comply with orders to deploy to Oregon, to Portland, or anywhere else, that military member could be subject to court-martial. Court-martial. Under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 19. Let's talk about Article 19. Article 19 grants special court-martials jurisdiction to try service members for both non-capital, other than murder, and certain capital offenses as prescribed by the President of the United States. Article 19 also allows for a wide range of punishments, but excludes death. Wide range of punishments starting with dishonorable discharge, dismissal from the service, confinement for more than a year at hard labor, without confinement for more than 3 months. Hard labor without confinement for more than 3 months, and forfeiture of pay exceeding 2/3 of pay for a specific period, unless the president allows otherwise. Okay? This council member is barking up the wrong tree, telling our military members to defy the president's deployments. Unreal, guys. Unfrickin' real. This is the first time in my life. I've been here on the earth a very long time now. For the first time in my life, we have our council members from various cities telling our military members to defy the President of the United States, who is the Commander-in-Chief. This is bad. This is very bad. Okay? Now, I want to counsel the Portland City Council member, Mitch Green. Mitch, if you hear this program, call me. My telephone number is spread all over the world. Call me. I would like to talk to you. You could be subject to arrest by the FBI for telling military members to defy a presidential order. That's unheard of. That's heresy. That's heresy, guys. I want to counsel our military members not to defy the president, not to defy their orders, but to obey the Commander-in-Chief. Obey the Commander-in-Chief. Your life will be a lot better for it. Otherwise, you go to jail, directly to jail. Hard time in military confinement is very justified. Hard time in military confinement could be very bad for each and every one of you. So beware of following this council member who's misguided, misdirected, maybe even mentally insane. Mentally insane. It's incredible that we have a politician telling our military members to defy the Commander-in-Chief. Unfrickin' real. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you about earthquakes on the Nomad Fault specifically. First, I want to go over to Costa Rica. There was a big, huge earthquake over there. No, it was not major, but it was borderline 6.1, 6.3 earthquake. 6.1 to 6.3 earthquake. Okay? Now, because I've done what I've done, my earthquake map here on this program automatically goes over to the Kamchatka Peninsula. There's a reason. Okay? Over a month ago, we had an 8.8, 9.4 earthquake here in this area. Today, we have continued aftershocks. This is a large 5.1 earthquake right near the shoreline of Kamchatka Peninsula, right there. Okay? Nobody felt it. Nobody felt this earthquake. Why? Because nobody lives in this area. This was 34 miles east, southeast of Vilinchnik, Russia, off the coastline. The Kamchatka Peninsula is only sparsely populated. Hardly anybody lives here. But this is still a serious situation. These are aftershocks. The earthquakes that have been happening here for the last month or so are aftershocks of the 8.8, 9.4 earthquake that happened over a month ago. These earthquakes are going to continue for a very long time. Whenever we've had an earthquake such as this, the earthquakes happen, the aftershocks happen for anywhere from weeks to months to years afterwards. We've seen it happen many times. Be aware of that. Be very much aware of that. In Japan, off Hokkaido Island, Japan, right here. This is 25 miles southwest of Nemuro, Japan. Okay? But it's not southwest, it's southeast. USGS still does not get their direction straight, not even here in Japan. If it was southwest of Japan, it would be out in the middle of the ocean. There's no island out here. This is southeast of Nemuro, Japan, a large 5.2 earthquake off the coast. Okay, now let's zoom in here. I want to show you this. Okay, right off the coast. These areas are small towns here in Japan. They're occupied. They're occupied towns. Okay, cities here. Cities. Now, in some part, this earthquake, this 5.1 earthquake, part of the seismic energy was absorbed by the ocean waters of the Western Pacific Ocean. Seismic waves get absorbed by the ocean when it's farther out in the ocean. In this case, this is only 25 miles southeast of Nemuro, Japan. People live here. They may not have felt a 5.0, 5.1 earthquake. However, they did feel something, probably closer to a moderate earthquake here. They felt something closer to a moderate earthquake here. 5.0, 5.9 earthquakes are large earthquakes. I want to make that clear. Okay? Japan is mostly very prepared for earthquakes. They've been having earthquakes from the very beginning, and they are very prepared. Okay? That was off the coast of Hokkaido, Japan. Let's go further south here. Again, over here in Indonesia, north central Indonesia here. This is another large 5.0 earthquake here. Okay? Offshore of any island here. This is 132 miles west of Ambon, Indonesia. Okay? Nobody's even near this earthquake. Nobody felt this earthquake. There's been no damage from this earthquake today. A large 5.0 earthquake here in Indonesia. There are 42 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. And guess what? USGS is only showing us 2. This 5.0 and this other one here over near Labam, Bajo, Indonesia. 94 miles north-northeast of Labam, Banjo, Indonesia. Out again in the ocean here. Okay? 42 earthquakes USGS only shows us 2. Interesting. Off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia out here. Off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia right here. There's another earthquake right there. Okay? It's another 5.0 earthquake here. 38 miles west-southwest of Banda Aceh, Indonesia. The northern pinnacle of the peninsula of Sumatra, Indonesia. Large 5.0 earthquake here. Just barely off the coast here. Literally just barely off the coast. Okay? Let's back out here now. Actually, before I do that, I want to go out here. Okay? Southern Iran, southern Turkey, I should say. Southern Turkey. Now, guys, they're showing one earthquake in Turkey. This one, a 4.4 earthquake. Let me tell you this. That's not the only earthquake here. This is a moderate 4.4. This is also 33 miles deep. The problem with that, there are 34 earthquakes right here. 34 earthquakes right here in the border area of Turkey and Syria. Why? Because over 2.5 years ago, February 3rd, 2023, there was a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake right here. And USGS is not even showing these earthquakes now. That 9.0 earthquake, that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake killed over 50 or 5,000 people, injured over 5,000 others. It left a great big fissure in the ground, 14 miles long, and it was as deep as an 8-story building. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. We're still having aftershocks here, and they're not even talking about it. Let's back out here. They're not showing one dadgum earthquake in Europe. They're not showing one dadgum earthquake here in Europe. There are over 300 earthquakes here in the European area. Or 300 earthquakes in the European area alone. Probably as many as 800. USGS is not even showing them. They never do. It doesn't matter whether the United States government is shut down. USGS is not taking care of business. They're not letting anybody know what's going on. People are scared. People are very scared. The ground's rumbling underneath them and nobody's saying anything. They have reason to be scared. Over here in Italy, right here, the Vesuvius volcano is moving. No, it's not erupting, but it's steaming big time. This volcano is steaming big time. All around the volcano is a huge urbanized area. Probably close to 1 million people live in this area. Probably close to 1 million people live in this area, and we have 42 earthquakes here. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. It's incredible what's going on. This this volcano is probably going to go. I'm not saying it's going to go today or tomorrow, but it's going to go. Everybody needs to be very concerned about what's happening here. I'm very serious about that. I'm very serious about that. We have about 40 volcanoes around the globe that are also erupting. 42 volcanoes around the earth that are erupting. Okay? You can take that to the bank. We have a total of 3 earthquakes here in South America. There are actually 2 earthquakes that you all need to be concerned about. I'm going to show you all 4 of these. This earthquake here in central Chile. This was not here earlier. This earthquake actually happened last night. 11:18 last night. This was not here earlier at all. This just appeared. This is a 4.0 earthquake. Further north in northern Chile here. This is a 4.1 moderate earthquake here. This is in the Andes Mountains here. This is near the top of the Andes Mountains here at the border of Chile and Argentina. This is a 4.1 earthquake, 67 miles west of San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina. San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina here. Okay? Going north into Peru. We've had numerous earthquakes here in the past few days. Yesterday's earthquake that was a 4.5 near Tacna, Peru, right near the volcano Salvancaya volcano here in southern Peru. This one is closer to the foothills of the Andes Mountains here. This is 10 miles west-southwest of Iray, Peru, I-R-A-Y, Peru, southern Peru. A 4.5 earthquake, 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep here. The next earthquake here is in Ecuador. Everybody needs to be concerned about this earthquake. Why? Because this was a very large 5.5 earthquake here in southern Ecuador. A very large 5.5 mid-range 5 here. 10 miles, 6.2 miles west-northwest of Pinos, Ecuador. Very large 5.5 earthquake here in the foothills of the Andes Mountains here in Ecuador. This is going to leave people homeless here. People here in Ecuador, for the most part, don't have that much money. Yes, the larger cities, people have money and people have buildings to protect themselves for the most part. But here in this area, people don't have much money. They're poor people here in Ecuador. This is going to have consequences. This earthquake is going to have consequences here. This earthquake hit at 8:05 p.m. last night. This earthquake is going to have consequences here in Ecuador. Okay? Let's back out here. Let's go over to Costa Rica. This should be very concerning to everyone. They say this is a 5.9 earthquake. I've done my research. This again was probably closer to a 6.2, 6.4 earthquake here in Costa Rica. Just barely off the shoreline. However, guess what? People live in this area. There's a national park here. There's a national park here in Costa Rica. People live here in this area. Costa Rica is a country that's very friendly with the United States. A lot of Americans live here. They left the United States because of all the crap that's going on in the country. They've come here to Costa Rica. This is a very large 5.9 earthquake, USGS is calling it, but I believe it's a 6.2, 6.4 earthquake. I have all the evidence if you want to see it. This is a big deal. Some of the seismographs I'm going to show you today in the New Madrid seismic zone are going to show this earthquake hitting. They're going to show this earthquake hitting last night. Okay, this hit last night at 11:57 p.m., right before midnight. Right directly before midnight last night. People live here. People's lives have been affected here in Costa Rica early this morning. Okay, people live here. Look at this. People live here in this area, all over. Isn't that interesting? People live here. People are and have been affected by this earthquake. 6.2, 6.4, very strong earthquake here. Incredible. Rebecca Griffiths, thank you for being here. Rebecca Griffiths is in the chat. She's a very dear friend of mine. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Rebecca. We love you as well. Now, Does anybody have any questions about that earthquake in Ecuador or this one? Both these earthquakes should be very concerning to everybody. The earthquake in Japan as well, it was close to the shoreline. This is very, very important. Aubrey's here. Hi, Aubrey. It's good to see you here. Does anybody have any questions about this earthquake in Costa Rica or the earthquake in Ecuador? Our buddy Hurricane Heather is also here. Let's go up into Guatemala. Okay. This is a 4.7 mod earthquake here. Near Cruz Naranjo, Guatemala. 4.7 mod earthquake here. Okay. That's at 113 miles deep. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. 4.7 earthquake near Champerico, Guatemala. Okay. This is also 60 miles deep. Now let's go over to the new Madfall right here. This is almost disgusting that the USGS is not going to show any earthquakes here. Earthquakes are reported by the computer. They should be showing on this map. There's not even a tremor, not even a minor earthquake here. What I'm going to show you tonight should be very concerning to all of your friends, your neighbors, your relatives. If you live in this area, you need to tell them they need to see this earthquake show here. They need to pay attention to what we're seeing here. This is vitally important for their safety. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the Pacific Northwest up here. In the southern Cascades subduction zone here on the San Andreas Fault, this is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. USGS is hardly reporting any activity here in the Pacific Northwest. Northern Oregon, Mount Hood. They're finally showing an earthquake at Mount Hood, but it's not that. It's a microquake here. That's all they're showing here in Washington and Oregon. Microquakes at the volcanoes. That's bull hunky. That's metal muffins. It's crap. There are earthquakes here in Oregon and Washington, and not just at the volcanoes. The Pacific Northwest is moving as well. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Let's go back here to the new Fault right here. That's going to be our focus tonight, the new Fault. Okay? Let's take this down. I want you to be very concerned, guys, because your lives depend on it. Everybody's lives depend on what we're doing here. I want everybody to be very cognizant of that. Your lives depend on us being here. Your lives depend on what's going on here. Okay? I'm concerned for your lives. I'm concerned for your family's lives as well. Again, we have a lot of EMA family members live here along the new Fault. Let's show what's going on. Let's talk about this. This is important. This is very important. This seismogram we're showing you here is Catfish Pond, Arkansas. This is right along the coastline of the Mississippi River, right along the western side of the Pneumatic Fault. Arkansas. This is not the only town that's having these earthquakes. This is not the only town having these earthquakes, guys. It's not the only state either. Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Let's zoom in here. Okay? I want you to be very sure what you see here. Okay, the top of this sidegram here is 5 a.m. on the left-hand side. Yes, we're seeing some tremors here, but the tremors quickly turn into earthquakes here. Okay? After 4 a.m. this morning. just after 4 a.m. this morning on the black line. That is at least a 3.03.2 earthquake. That is at least a 3.03.2 earthquake. Yes, it is a small quake. Yes, this is a small quake. But up until 2 years ago, guys, there were only tiny tremors. Tiny tremors all up and down the fault line. Now, frequently, every day, many times a day, up and down the fault line, we're seeing these small earthquakes. 3.03.2 earthquake, but it's not the only seismic energy here. Look what we're seeing here. That was just after 4 a.m., right before 4:01. Then it quiets down. Look where the primary wave was. The primary wave lasted about 10 seconds. Multiple 3.03.2 earthquakes hit here. Out to the right, it seems like you see a small triangle, an arrow pointing to the right. That's a secondary wave. That secondary wave lasted for nearly 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That means this earthquake here was at least a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake, not just a 3.03.1. A 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. That's a big deal. People felt this earthquake. Then it died down to just tremors, tiny tremors. Then after that, about 4:13 a.m. this morning, it starts picking up again. Tiny tremors for another minute and a half. Then all of a sudden we have a 2.0 minor earthquake. It builds up again. 2.5, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. And on the red line over here at 4:15, all of a sudden we have 2.0, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes, minor earthquakes here. Just after 4, we had over a 3.2, 3.3. Here, we're having minor earthquakes here, meaning the seismic energy didn't die off. It continued. After that, you see minor tremors building and dying away again. Look at the blue line here at 6:30. 6:30 on the left-hand side. Going over to the right, we see some tremors again building up. But over on the right, 6:41, 6:42 this morning. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Those happened. These earthquakes happened and continued for over 3 minutes. 3 minutes of shaking here again. Then that seismic energy dies off to just tremors again. After 10:15 this morning on the left-hand side, we'll go over to 10:19 on over here in the left center. Tremors, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. A minute later, we have 1.9, 1.9, 2.0 earthquakes. Then, at 10:21 a.m. this morning, 3.5 earthquake here. Notice the top and the bottom of this earthquake sequence was cut off. That wasn't just a 3.0 earthquake. The seismic energy was cut off, so they don't want us to know the outcome of this earthquake sequence. 3.5 earthquake here, guys. Minimum of a 3.5 earthquake. I'm going to tell you this. Look how long this earthquake sequence lasted. 1, 2, 3 minutes. 3 minutes of primary waves off and on. The longest one lasted over a minute. Then out to the right of that, we have another secondary wave here lasting over a minute and a half again, which means this earthquake was probably closer to a 4.0 earthquake. Closer to 4.0 earthquake here. This is Mark Tree, Arkansas, on the west side of the Pneumatic Fault. This is big time important. Big time important here. This is not all, folks. This is just the beginning of it. This is the beginning of it. Let me show you Mark Tree, Arkansas this afternoon. We've only got a few hours here. We've only got a few hours of time here. Okay? I pulled this sidegram here just after 3 o'clock Central Time. After 3:15 Central Time. The top line here is 12 noon. We have minor earthquake sequences going on here. 2.0, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. Out to the right, we have more seismic energy. Tremors. Tremors lasting 1, 2, 3 minutes, which means this earthquake that they're showing us on the left-hand side top line there might be as large as a 3.0 earthquake. They're just not showing us everything. Then over here towards the right, center right here on the top line. This is approximately 12:10 p.m. this afternoon. Tremors. Tremors building up to minor earthquake status. 2.0, 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes. Then that dies off to tremors again. The next earthquake we need to be concerned about is after 3:15 this afternoon, 3:16 this afternoon. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake at 3:16 this afternoon Central Time. That's important. This is important. Mark Tree, Arkansas, on the west side of the Pneumatic Fault. This is only one of many cities that have been affected by earthquakes today on the Pneumatic Fault. Let's go to north central Arkansas to Ozark Folk Center in north central Arkansas. Ozark Folk Center here. Okay? North central Arkansas. The top line here at the very top left is 12 midnight. Notice what happened here. We have tiny microquakes and tremors here before that, before these earthquakes start hitting here. Earthquakes started hitting here after 7:30 this morning. 7:30 this morning. 7:37 this morning. A 3.3, 3.4 earthquake here. Ozark Folk Center, north central Arkansas. 3.5, 3.7 earthquake here. (9 a.m.) on the left-hand side on the black line. 9:02, we have a 2.9 earthquake. Just less than a minute later, we have a 3.0, 3.3 earthquake hit. In this case, they cut off the bottom and the top of this earthquake because they're not showing exactly what is going on here. 3.0, 3.3 earthquake. After that, 9:31 a.m. this morning, another 3.3 earthquake. This may have been as much as a 3.5. Again, notice that they cut off the bottom and the top of this earthquake sequence. 3.5 earthquake here. On the next line is green on the left-hand side. This is 9:45. Over here on the right, we have 9:56 a.m. this morning. Again, the top and the bottom of this sequence has been cut off because they don't want us to know the exact strength of this earthquake. Presently, this shows at least a 3.1 earthquake. However, knowing what we do, this might be as large as a 3.5 earthquake. Ozark Folk Center. So far, that's 5. There's one more here. Just after 11:16 this morning. 11:16 this morning, we have another sequence here. 3.03.3 earthquake here. 6 earthquakes here this morning. Ozark Folk Center, Arkansas, Central Arkansas. Again, the new manifold is moving. It's moving a great deal. You folks that live here along the new manifold, I'm talking anywhere from Louisiana on the south, Mississippi on the south, Mississippi's on the east side, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, up to Ohio and Illinois. You folks have reason to be concerned. You folks have reason to be concerned. This is the biggest seismic energy we've had. The biggest consistent seismic energy that we've seen here on the new manifold in the past 6.5 years. Again, 2.5 years ago, all we saw here were tiny tremors consistently, every day. Now we are seeing larger than 3.0, 3.5, possibly even a 4.0 here in Arkansas today. Yes, you have real reason to be concerned. You have every reason in the world to be concerned here. Lives are in danger here. This is not the wild, wild west as it happened in December 1800. Actually, December 1811, 1810, 1811. December 1810 into January 1811. You have reason to be very concerned. In the wild, wild west, it was just hardly occupied. Yet we know people died. In Missouri, people living along river logging, trying to transport product up and down the Mississippi River in the early 1800s. Major earthquake happened, didn't it? The Mississippi River stopped flowing for how long? 7 minutes. Started flowing backwards up to the north. All of a sudden, as a result of the Mississippi River stopped flowing, a great big huge lake that's now called Reelfoot Lake sits there today. Today, over 200 years later, we have a lake still sitting there as a result of the Mississippi River stopped flowing. As a result of this earthquake, the new manifold earthquake. It's going to happen again. Before this earthquake was there, all we had here were settlers, farmers, ranchers, people working alongside the Mississippi, getting food and product up and down the river to various locales. All they had was horse and buggy paths. All they had here was horse and buggy paths. That's it. They didn't have cars. All they had was cattle and horses. There were fires. There were fires, guys. People's cabins burned down. People drowned in the Mississippi River. People drowned it in the area that's now Reelfoot Lake. People were killed by the shaking. Up and down the Mississippi River here, we now have 2-lane blacktop, north, south, east, and west. Interstate 40 that runs up and down the fault line, north and east, all the way over to New Mexico and all the way east to North Carolina. Interstate 40. 3-lane blacktop from Little Rock, Arkansas, all the way over to Nashville. Yeah, I've driven it. Last year, someone that was canoeing under the highway bridge, underneath the I-40 bridge, noticed cracks in the steel beam holding the highway bridge up. They closed part of the bridge until they repaired it. That was not even a large earthquake that caused that damage to the bridge steel, but there was a crack. Imagine what happens when we have at least another 8.0, 9.0 earthquake here on the Pneumatic Fault. That I-40 bridge is going to go down. Other bridges up and down the entire Mississippi River are going to go down because of the shaking. In 2011, I was in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management building, conducting an earthquake drill on the anniversary, the 200-year anniversary of the Pneumatic earthquake. That day, we started the earthquake drill. 7 o'clock in the morning, we had to call real world. Not just a drill, but real world exercise. Because we had three 3.0 earthquakes here along the Pneumatic Fault that morning. 3.0 earthquakes that morning. They were sporadic. They were nowhere else along the Mississippi. Already I was showing you earthquakes all over the place. All over the Pneumatic Fault. You need to be very concerned, guys. You need to be very, very concerned. This is in north central Arkansas here. This is quite a distance from the Mississippi River, quite a distance from the Pneumatic Fault. But we're still seeing this kind of energy here. This happens almost every day here at the Ozark Folk Center. Let me show you some more. If this doesn't bother you, it should. I showed you Marktree, Arkansas a few minutes ago. Let's go over to Truman, Arkansas right now. Truman, Arkansas, guys. This should be very concerning to everybody watching this program today. The top line here on the black line is midnight last night. You see tremor activity, nothing but tremor activity here. At 2 a.m. this morning on the black line, more tremor activity, but it was less. At 2:45 on the black line, we have tremors building up, but they're no more than 1.3, 1.4 tremors. Interesting. 3:43, 3:44 this morning on the blue line on the right-hand side. Tremors building up. 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremors. Then at 4 a.m. this morning, tremors building up to 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes. Still minor earthquake sequence. The minor earthquake sequence started at 3:44 a.m. this morning. It continued at 4 o'clock a.m., 4:01, 4:02, 4:03, 4:04, 4:05, 4:06 this morning. 7 minutes. 7 minutes worth of shaking, including tremors. Nobody felt this earthquake here. Nobody felt this particular earthquake. But we have more tremors to come. after 8 a.m. here on the black line. (8:05) this morning. 3.0 earthquake here in Truman, Arkansas. 3.0 earthquake here in Truman, Arkansas. Then we have more tremors and minor earthquakes. 9:15 this morning. 9:18 this morning. Another 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake. Over on the right-hand side, this is 9:27 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. After 10 a.m. this morning on the black line on the left-hand side, we have tremor activity. 10:01, tremor activity. 10:02, more tremor activity. 10:03, more tremor activity, but it's building into a 3.0 earthquake. 10:04 this morning, we had another 3.0 earthquake. A minute later, it was still shaking. Still shaking a minute and a half later. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake now. 3.2 probably. Then the shaking died down. Going out to the right, we see another secondary wave happening. Remember what we call a secondary wave? That energy after the primary wave stops. Secondary wave activity continues. The secondary wave lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 minutes later, which means this 3.0, 3.1 earthquake was probably closer to a 3.3, 3.4. Yeah, seriously. Seriously, guys. 10:33 this morning. Another 2.0 minor earthquake. Started off with a bunch of tremors just after 10:31. More tremor after that, lasting 1, 2, 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long. Then on the black line here, on the left-hand side after 11 a.m. this morning, 2.4, 2.5 earthquake, more tremors. The tremors from this earthquake last another 4 minutes. Then over on the right-hand side, more tremors. This time at 11:09, 11:10, 11:12, 11:13. 11:13, we have a 2.2 earthquake. More tremors building up to 2.4, 2.5. Over on the right-hand side, at 11:14 this morning, 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Truman, Arkansas here this morning. Truman, Arkansas this afternoon. The top line here is 12 noon on the left-hand side. 2 hours go by, we have tremors. At 2:03 p.m. this afternoon, 1.9 tremor. All of a sudden it raises up to be a 2.5 earthquake. 2.5 earthquake here. After 3 p.m. this afternoon on the left-hand side, 1.9 tremor activity. Then it goes back down to just 1.2, 1.3 tremors. We get over here to about 3:07. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of tremor activity. Truman, Arkansas. Let's go further south to Tyrone, Arkansas. Guess what happens in Tyrone, Arkansas? This. Again, this top black line at the top is midnight on the left-hand side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of nothing but tiny tremors. Another hour of tremors here after that. We come down here at 8 a.m. this morning, more tremors, but the tremors getting larger. 8:30 this morning, 8:38 this morning, larger tremors, 1.5, 1.6. 8:15 over on the left-hand side, we come over to the right on the red line. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 8:14 this morning, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. That seismic energy goes off right before 8:30. Right before 8:30, it becomes a 3.0 earthquake. Seismic energy comes over here to the left-hand side at 8:30 on the blue line. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Went up to 3.0 back down into minor earthquake sequence here. 8:15 on the red line. More minor earthquakes. Those minor earthquakes continued until after 11 a.m. this morning on the bottom black line. We come over here to the center here. Let me enlarge this a little bit so you can see what I'm seeing, what I know about. Okay? Right here on the black line. Folks, we are seeing a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake right here. 11:09 a.m. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake right here. The next one here is after 11:17 this morning. This is a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. We go over about just over 2.5 minutes later, we have a 2.7, 2.8. We go over here on the towards the right side, more 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. On the green bottom line here, the bottom green line on the left is 11:45. Now we are over here at 11:50 on the bottom left center. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. And after that, all we have are tremors here. Tyrone, Arkansas, more 3.0 activity here. More 3.0 small activity here. Again, we did not see this until 2 years ago when it started going up, when the magnitudes of the seismic activity started increasing. They went from microquakes, 0.1 to 0.9, 1.0 to 1.9 tremors. That was 2 years ago. In 2 years' time, now we are over 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes. 2 years' time. Now I've shown you 3 towns here. I've shown you 3 towns of earthquakes here. This was Tyrone, Arkansas this afternoon. Look at that. More 3.0 activity here. Just after 12:30 this afternoon on the red line. About 12:21 this afternoon. Again at 12:20, actually 12:24 this afternoon. 12:25 another one. 12:29 a.m. or p.m. this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. We come over here on the left-hand side, we have 12:30 on the blue line. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later. 12:35 this morning, or I mean this afternoon. 12:35 this afternoon. This is another 3.0 earthquake. 1:30 this afternoon. 1:32 this afternoon on the left-hand side here on the next blue line. Another 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. We come over here, 2 minutes, we have another 2.0 earthquake. About 8 minutes later, we have another 2.5 earthquake on the blue line. The next line down is a black line. Just about 2:06 this afternoon. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. The next biggest seismic energy here is after 2:15 this afternoon on the left-hand side on the red line. Another 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. Incredible, huh? It doesn't stop. We go down here to 2:47 p.m. this afternoon on the green line. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. All the rest of these earthquakes here are minor earthquakes. 2.0 to 2.8 earthquakes. I've shown you 4 towns here so far. 4 towns. I'm not done. I'm far from finished here. The entire place is moving. The entire place is moving. Let's go about over to Missouri. Let's go north to Missouri now. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. 6 years ago, none of this was even visible. 2 years ago, all we had here were tremors. Tremors, guys. We started building up to minor earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes. That's all. That's all that we had here. Look what happened mid-morning. Mid-morning. Just after 5, let's move that up here, 5:22 this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Then more tremors. $7:30 over on the right-hand side, 7:30 on the left, over here on the same blue line. This is 7:40 this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake on the blue line. The next line is green. Green here. Okay. Over on the left-hand side, it'd be 7:45. 7:45. Here, this is 7:52 a.m. this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then we have a bunch of tremors. We have a ton of tremors here. Let's go down here to 9:30 on the blue line. 9:35 this morning. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here in Barker Cemetery. That's significant. In all the time that I've been reporting earthquakes here at Barker Cemetery, we've never had a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake ever. We did today. actual multiple earthquakes back to back. That line is thicker. That line is thicker. The thicker the line, more longer the earthquake hit. It continues shaking for several minutes. Actually, several seconds. I'm sorry, several seconds. Then we had a bunch of tremors here again. After 10:18 this morning on the red line. 10:18 this morning on the red line. 3.0 earthquakes again. 11:15 on the next red line down. We have another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Okay. Let's look at the last line here, which is a green line here. On the left-hand side, this would be 11:45. Now that we're seeing this here, this is 11:55 a.m. this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Serious, guys. Seriously. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. That's a lot of shaking. Now, we've had more minor earthquakes here before, but this is the first time in our history, our recent history, where we've had a 3.3 earthquake here at Barker Cemetery. Hasn't happened. Never happened before. I'm not done. Barker Cemetery this afternoon. Again, 2 years ago, we had minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.2, 2.3. That's it. That's it. It went from tremors 3 years ago to having minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.2, 2.3. We're not just seeing minor earthquakes anymore. On the green line on the left, this would be 12:45 on the right, on the left-hand side. On the right, we're seeing 12:56 p.m. this afternoon. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. The next earthquake after that is over here on the black line. This is 1:03 p.m. this afternoon. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Prior to that 2.9, 3.0, we had some tiny tremors. Out to the right, we have about 30 seconds of tremor activity after that, which means this was a clear 3.0 small earthquake. Clear 3.0 small earthquake here. Then we have more tremors, lots more tremors. The next earthquake we have is 3:14 p.m. this afternoon on the black line on the right-hand side. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake this afternoon here at Barker Cemetery. Incredible. They continue to happen. Why did I call it a 3.2, 3.3? Because over on here on the right, on the left-hand side, we have more activity after that. 1 full minute of minor earthquakes and tremors after that, which makes that earthquake on the far right-hand side, black line, that's a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. The secondary wave makes a statement. The secondary wave makes a statement here. Let's look at Barker Cemetery this afternoon. I'm sorry, that was it. That was at Barker Cemetery this afternoon. I'm not done. Let's go look at Cape Girardeau, Missouri, right here. Cape Girardeau, Missouri, up at the top, the seismologist turned the seismograph off and on for over an hour. You see these broken lines? That does not happen unless they are playing with the seismograph. Playing with the seismograph. Look at that. Broken lines all over this seismograph. Tons of them. Tons of them. Let's go to the bottom here. The bottom here. After 11 a.m. this morning. Actually, 10:30 this morning. Over here on the right-hand side on the blue line, that is 10:38, 10:39 this morning. Tremors. That's all it is from 10:39 to 10:14 on the right-hand side. Nothing but tremors. 10:15 on the next red line on the left-hand side. We come, or actually this is 11:15. Before that on the black line here on the right-hand side. The left-hand side would be 11 a.m. Here we have 11:12 a.m. this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. The next red line on the left-hand side would be 11:15. Over here, this is 11:23. 11:23 this morning. Suddenly we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here on the red line. That quickly ends after about 30 seconds. Over here on the blue line below that, on the left-hand side we had 11:30. This is 11:34. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake this morning. This was multiple earthquakes. Multiple earthquakes, probably 3 earthquakes here. 3 earthquakes here. First one, 2.8, 2.9. It continued a little bit of shaking, then it doubled up again. The second time, it was a little bit different. Back-to-back shaking. Lasted a couple seconds. Then about 15 seconds later, we had another 2.7, 2.8. Still shaking. We have tremors. We have minor earthquakes here. At 11:55 a.m. this morning, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes again. 11:43 this morning on the blue line. 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes. Back to back. Notice a thicker line here. The thicker line shows these earthquakes lasted a while. Lasted several seconds. Then it backs down just a little bit. We have another 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Yeah. Big time movement. Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Again, we have not seen this before. We've not seen this kind of activity before at Cape Girardeau. The biggest things were minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.8. That's all here. But this changed today. The entire thing changed today. Let's go over to Guam, Missouri this morning. Look at this. Guam, Missouri this morning, we turned out and had tremor activity. Tremor activity for about 4 or 5 hours. Come down here to 3:54 a.m. this morning. Tremors and minor earthquakes here on the green line. Then it finally dies off. But the secondary wave here, we have primary waves of minor 2.4, 2.5, maybe 2.6 earthquakes. But we have a secondary wave again. Remember, the secondary wave can tell us pretty much how that first primary wave really was. Because again, the seismologists turn down the seismographs. The seismologists turn down the seismographs. So we look at the secondary wave. The secondary wave in this case lasts 1, 2, 3, 4 full minutes, which means this 2.6, 2.7 was probably 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, at least. Then we have more tremors. More tremors. We come down to the next green line at 6:45 on the left-hand side. We have tremors. But over here at 11:55, the tremors continue. 11:56, more tremors. By 11:57, we're now up to 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. Then it turns quickly into 3.0 earthquake. 3.0, 3.3 earthquake here. On the right-hand side on the green line here. Look at that. It's all over the place. Plus, look at the break in the quake sequence here. Look at the break in the quake sequence here. They turned off the seismograph. They turned off the seismograph for several seconds. Turn it off. Well, then when they turn it back on, the shaking continued here. What did we miss when they turned it off? What did we miss when they turned it off? Was it larger than 3.0? Probably. Probably up to 3.5 earthquake here. I'm not kidding. The seismologists turned it down because they saw it building. They saw the seismic energy building here. Sorry. Then we come down here to 8:15 on the red line here. 8:15, 8:16, 8:17, tremors. Then suddenly go up to 2.8 earthquake. We can't see the top line, top part of the vertical line here, but we see the bottom. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. That dies down to maybe a 2.4, 2.5 minor earthquakes. Again, what happens here? All of a sudden, the shaking sequence goes down to maybe a 1.1 tremor for maybe 30 seconds. Then it builds up to another 2.5, 2.6. Not likely. Not likely. It doesn't work like that. Never has. More tremors after that. Actually skipped over the 8 a.m. line on the left-hand side. But on the right here, all of a sudden, 8:13, 8:14, we had a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. At 8:13, then it dies down to nothing but tremors. Not likely. Not likely. Then it starts up with another 2.5, 2.6 sequence here. Interesting. 8:15 on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, but over here, it's actually 8:24 a.m. this morning. 2.0, 2.1. Dies down to tremors again. A minute and a half later, we have another 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. The sequence here of tremors and minor earthquakes lasts 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. 4-minute sequence. On the next green line below that, nothing but tremors. On the next black line, we have 10 a.m. Tremor activity. Tremor activity until we get over here to 10:06, 10:07. All of a sudden, we have another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. You don't see it quite develop, but we believe that's a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Okay. On the red line over on the right-hand side, nothing but tremors here. Possibly as much as a 2.0 earthquake. And that happened at approximately 10, I want to say 10:20, 10:25 this morning, maybe a 2.0 earthquake, and after that, nothing but tremors. 10:32 a.m. this morning, 2.2 earthquake. Tremors and a 2.2 earthquake. Then we have more tremors. A lot more tremors. 11:30 this morning on the left-hand side, 2.0 earthquake and more tremors. Unreal. Guam, Missouri, on the New Matter Fault, the center of the New Matter Fault here. Let's look at Guam, Missouri this afternoon, right here. Look what happened here. The top line here on the left-hand side would be 12 noon. Just about 12:10, actually 12:09 this afternoon, we had a 1.5 tremor. On the next red line would be 12:15 on the left. Over here on the right, this is 12:24 p.m. this afternoon. 2.0 earthquake. The next black line on the left would be 1 p.m. We'll come over here to the right. This is 1:13. Actually, 1:12 p.m. 2.4 earthquake. Then we had more tremors here until after 2:30 this morning, or 2:30 this afternoon, I'm sorry. 2:30 this afternoon. Right before 2:40, 2:43, 2:42, 2:43 this afternoon, we had a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. On the next green line here on the right-hand side, this is 2:59 p.m. this afternoon. 1.7, 1.8 tremor. 3 p.m. over on the left-hand side. We'll go over here to center. This is 2:07 p.m. We have another 3.0 to 3.1 earthquake. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. That seismic energy, that primary wave lasts a full minute. Off and on primary wave for a full minute. Then the secondary wave lasts 1, 2, 3 minutes, which means that 3.0 earthquake was a 3.1, 3.2. After 3:15, all we have is here, we just have tremors here. Again, just after 3:30 or 3:13, we had nothing but tremors, and I pulled the seismograph so I could show it to you. This is big time interesting, huh? Yeah. This should be very interesting. And all of a sudden, we went from 80 people watching this program, 82, 83 people watching this program. We've dipped down now to 66 people watching, meaning people got tired of seeing it. Need I remind you all that are still watching? People's lives hang in the balance here. The New Matter Fault is moving. The New Matter Fault is moving. It's moving in a big way. People's lives are in danger here, guys. People's lives are in danger. You want to see what's going on. You need to see what's going on. Your family and your friends that live in this area, up and down the entire fault line, from the Gulf of America to Illinois. The Gulf of America to Illinois, your lives hang in the balance here. I don't know whether the new manifold is going to buckle tomorrow, next week, or next year, but it's going to buckle. There's going to be a huge earthquake here. Now we're up to 7 people watching again. I hope you're paying attention. I'm very serious about this. I'm serious as a heart attack here. I'm as serious as a heart attack here. Let me let you look at Matthews, Missouri. Matthews, Missouri. Matthews, Missouri is just north of the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River, let me move this diagram over to the left so you can see what I'm talking about. The Mississippi River goes north away from the Gulf of America. Then it takes a turn to the right. And then another turn to up going north again. Just after the Mississippi River takes a turn to the right. Just north there is New Madrid, Missouri itself. North of New Madrid, we have Matthews, Missouri. Look what we see here. Look what we see here, guys. This is very interesting. This should be very interesting to all of you. Okay? This is this afternoon. This happened this afternoon. On the right side, we have 2:13 p.m. Actually, we have 2:11. We have tremors. Not even 2:11. Sorry. This would be 2:41 p.m. this afternoon. Tremors. 2:42 tremors. All of a sudden, it jumps up to 2 points of earthquake. 2.6, 2.7. 2.7, 2.8. 2.8, 2.9. Then it jumps up to 3 points of earthquake. 3.0 magnitude shaking here. Notice the primary sequence started at 2:14. I'm sorry, 2:44. Well, no, I'm sorry, that's not true. 2:28. 2:28 p.m. From 2:28 p.m. until 2:34. 2:28 to 2:34. We had 3.0 down to 2.9 earthquake. Primary waves. Look at that. How would you like to be in a house where you feel the ground moving? You feel the floor moving. Or outside you feel the ground moving going, what in the world is going on here? That's what's going on here in Matthews, Missouri. Matthews, Missouri this afternoon. The ground's moving. The new manifold is moving. The new manifold is moving. Let's look at Portageville, Missouri. Look at this, guys. This is this morning. The top line is midnight last night. Then we drop down to 3:45 on the left-hand side. We go over here to the right. Now we are at 3:51 a.m. this morning. 3:52. The ground starts shaking. We have tremor activity. About 30 seconds later, we have a 2.5 2.6 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9. Then within a minute, this was 3:54 a.m. this morning. 3.3 earthquake. At least a 3.3 earthquake. This shaking lasted 2 full minutes. The primary wave lasted over 2 minutes here. Notice that the top and the bottom of this quake sequence was cut off. The top and the bottom of this quake sequence was cut off, which means this earthquake shaking was at least a 3.5 earthquake. At least a 3.5 earthquake, guys. People's lives are in danger here. Pires, Missouri, we've never had this kind of earthquake sequence here. Never. We've had tremors and minor earthquakes. These are small 3.5 earthquakes that have built up. Today, so far, I've shown you 3.5, even 4.0 moderate earthquakes. The shakings build up here. The magnitude of shakings build up here. People are wondering what in the heck is going on. Why is my home shaking? This was early this morning. People woke up here in Missouri going, what the heck? What the heck? 5:15 this morning on the left red line here. 5:15 on the red line here on the left. We go over here to the right. Suddenly we're over here at 5:20. I want to say 5:22, 5:23 this morning. Minor earthquake sequence here. Minor earthquakes. We've gone from tremors to 2.0, 2.2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. The sequence lasts 1, 2, 3 minutes. Minor earthquakes here. Then all the rest of these earthquakes here are tremors. Every last earthquake after that are just tremors. All morning long here. Pires, Missouri. Guess what happened this afternoon? Things changed. Look at this. Pires, Missouri this afternoon. The shaking really kicked off after 1:15. Before that, all we had were tremors. At 12:40, I say 12:54 this afternoon, that was a 2.4, 2.5, maybe 2.6 earthquake on the green line. But the shaking got underway after that. Literally all afternoon. 1 o'clock, tremors building up to 2.0, 2.3s. 1:15, tremors building up to 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. Yeah. 1:30, tremors building up to 2.5, 2.6 again. And you can see what happened after that. Earthquakes kept getting to be 2.8, 2.9, and over here on the right-hand side on the bottom red line. (3:28 p.m. this afternoon. Portisville, Missouri. 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. And you see some other 2.5, 2.7 activity. We drop down to 3:30 on the blue line here. You see tremors and minor earthquakes here. Portisville, Missouri, guys, we've not seen this before. This is new to the new manifold today. up and down the entire fault. Up and down the entire fault line, guys, we're having earthquakes. We're having full-blown small to moderate earthquakes. We've had 3.0s before. Now that energy's built up from there and going larger. What do I think is going to happen? What do I think is going to happen? It's going to get bigger. It's going to be a lot bigger. I want to show you this map here. Okay? There's a reason I want to show it to you. Look at the town that I'm showing you here. This is where the Mississippi River turns north and goes back down south. And then it goes north again over by Kentucky there. Look at the river. New Madrid, Kewanee, Missouri, I've shown you already. Unreal. Uncotton picking real. Guys, I'm telling you the truth. I'm showing you what's actually going on. I'm not just talking about I'm showing you the activity. I'm showing you the data on this. The USGS is not going to show this to you. They're not talking about it on the map. They're not showing a dadgum earthquake at all. Again, if you have friends, relatives, or family members on the New Madrid fault, you need to be very concerned. They need to be concerned. They need to be very, very concerned. Let me go over to the east side of the New Madrid fault over Ridgely, Tennessee. Ridgely, Tennessee, guys. I'm sorry this is too big. Let me make it a lot smaller. I don't know why that happened. Ridgely, Tennessee, guys, this morning. On the top line here is 12 midnight on the left-hand side. Okay? Then on the blue line is 12:30. We come over here to the middle. Okay? This is 12:30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 12:37. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake, at least. This may have been larger. I believe the bottom of that blue line drops down, which would make this at least a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. But it is at least a 2.8, 2.9, if not a 3.3 earthquake here. This morning, Ridgely, Tennessee. This is over on the eastern side of the New Madrid Fault. Tennessee. What else happened here? Nothing but tremors here. Until, I'm saying until after 10:45 this morning. 10:46, 10:47, 10:48. 10:48, almost 10:49 this morning on the green line. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. We've never seen this in Ridgely, Tennessee before. We've never seen this before. Tennessee earthquakes. Ridgely, Tennessee. Let me show you another one here. This is Hopper, Tennessee here. Look what we're seeing here. We're seeing a bunch of 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Then, let me enlarge this so you can see what I'm seeing. 6:40 this morning on the blue line towards the right side center. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. 8:34 this morning. Another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 3.0 earthquake on the black line. Look at these other earthquakes. Yes, we do have some tremors mixed in here. We are having minor and small earthquakes here. Over on the right, 8:43 this morning on the blue line on the right. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. It doesn't stop here. 10:34 this morning on the blue line on the left. 2.8, 2.9. 11 a.m. on the left-hand side, we go over to the right. 11:14. 3.0 earthquake. 11:30 on the left-hand side on the blue line. 3.0 earthquake. 11:31, multiple 3.0 earthquakes back to back. That sequence lasts about 5 or 10 seconds. 3.0 earthquakes here in Hopper, Tennessee. No joke. That's also never been seen here in Hopper, Missouri, or Hopper, Tennessee, I'm sorry. We've never seen this in Hopper, Tennessee before. Not ever until now. The whole place is moving, guys. Hopper, Tennessee this afternoon, look at this. It didn't stop. The seismic energy didn't stop, it's continuing now. It's maybe continue to be 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes as we speak right now, this minute. This afternoon, over on the left-hand side, we see tremors here. 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremors, but over here on the right, on the black line. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake this afternoon. 12:13 this afternoon. On the red line, 12:26 p.m. this afternoon, a 3.0 earthquake. 12:30, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12:35 this afternoon. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake this afternoon here. Hopper, Tennessee. We had minor 2.0, 2.9. We had 3.0 earthquakes all over here. The first time in years. The first time literally in years. This was not happening 2 years ago. It wasn't happening 1 year ago. This earthquake status has increased over the last 365 days. Now we are having 3.0 earthquakes consistently up and down the entire fault line. Up and down the entire fault line, guys. I'm serious as a heart attack. I am being serious as a heart attack here. What do you need to do? What do you need to do? Last week we showed you in Decatur, Illinois, we had minor earthquakes there, 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes. Now here today in Decatur, Illinois, all we have here are tremors. This is the northern side of the Pneumatic Fault. Nothing but tremors here in Decatur, Illinois. Last week we had minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes here in Illinois. Stronghurst, Illinois this afternoon. Look at this. This, folks, is 2:27 this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake here in Stronghurst, Illinois. Up and down the entire fault line, guys. Up and down the entire fault line from the Gulf of America all the way up here in Illinois. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and small 3.5, 4.0 moderate earthquakes here today. Up and down the entire fault line. What do we need to be doing? What do we need to do? I'm going to tell you this. You need to be prepared. This is not over. The seismic energy that you're seeing today on the Pneumatic Fault is not over. It's far from over. All of you who are watching this program today, you need to be better prepared. You need to tell your families. You need to tell your friends that live here. They need to watch Emergency Management Associates here on YouTube. That's where we're at. We need to be prepared. The government's not going to do it, guys. The government is not going to do it. My buddy Don Patoka, who is a mod here on this program, he said, if the government comes knocking, tell them to go away. Don't open up the door. Tell them to go away. Don't answer the door. Ronald Reagan said that 40 years ago. If the government comes knocking, don't answer the door. I've already shown you today on the USGS map. They did not show even a tremor here on the Pneumatic Fault. But I showed you tremors, I showed you minor earthquakes, I showed you small earthquakes, and I showed you moderate 4.0 plus earthquakes today on the Pneumatic Fault. Several months ago, I warned everybody. We might have 2 years. We might have up to 2 years before we see a major 8.0, 9.0 earthquake here on the Pneumatic Fault. It's coming. The seismic energy is building. The seismic energy is building, guys. This is reality. This is a reality check today. I'm dead serious. Yes, I could show you a lot more seismograms that don't show much of anything. But I show you the data up and down the entire fault line. The fault is moving. That's moving in a big way. You need to get prepared. You need to have an earthquake plan. You need to have a major plan going on, an emergency preparedness plan, detailing what you need to do between now and the time the earthquake gets here, and during the earthquake and after the earthquake. Detail the plan in detail. Mark everything out. If you need help, go back through our past programs here on Emergency Management Associates. Anytime you see in the title, Preparedness Planning, Emergency Kits, watch those programs. Watch those programs. Emergency Preparedness Planning, you need a lot of help. You probably can't do it on your own. I've talked about it here on this program before. Watch this program. Tell your families, tell your friends to watch this program. This is vital. If you want to save your lives, watch this program. Write a plan. Make an emergency earthquake emergency preparedness kit. Make an emergency preparedness kit, including first aid kit, including medication. If you're taking medication for your heart, for your lungs, for diabetes, or any other kind of health issue, make sure you have at least a 90-day supply of medication. I need a 90-day supply of medication, guys. This is urgent for you. Make sure you have food and water. More than 3 days worth of water. More than 3 days worth of food. I am talking, guys. I am talking to everybody here. You need to have more than 3 days worth of food. 3 days isn't going to cut it. Yes, you can scrimp by with a little bit of food. You might scrimp by for 4 or 5 days, but that's going to get very old where you're not hardly eating anything. My buddy Deep Quake Paul is back here. Welcome, Deep Quake Paul. He's given people here watching this channel 5 Emergency Management Associates memberships, 1 month memberships here. Tickled Pink, Wendy Cakes, Orange Blossom, K Marava, and Raven Creek. If you guys received a 1 month membership, thank Deep Quake Paul for that. God bless you for that, Paul. God bless you. We appreciate you so much. Also, if you want to help support this program and keep us on the air, yes, it takes a lot of money to keep us on the air. I wouldn't have said that 6.5 years ago. I came on this program to detail earthquakes at all. That's it. Since then, I've been talking about every kind of major disaster, major emergency at all. Everything. Anything that's going to affect our lives here in America or around the world, we talk about it. We did this afternoon, I mean, when we first started this program. You can send us donations to our PayPal, this scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We have 2 PayPal addresses scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We'd appreciate your support to keep this program on the air. It takes a lot of money. We pay $253 a month for bandwidth alone. $253 a month for bandwidth here. That's a lot. We can't do without you. Honestly, cannot do without you. You can also give us super chats here while we're on the air. Also, you see our addresses scrolling across the bottom of your screen as well. You see our mailing address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Okay, you can send us a letter, and inside that letter, you can enclose a check or even cash that gets to it. We'd appreciate that a lot. Also, send us a card, and inside that card, you can also send us cash or even a check. We'd appreciate that a lot. A lot, guys. We need it. We need it. You also see our email address going across the bottom of your screen. RLTNSPDEMA@gmail.com. If you have things you want to talk about, things that you want, concerns that you see on our program, or you want to give us comments and even ideas what you'd like to see, send us to our email. We'd appreciate hearing from you. Also, below this video today, after we get off, you can send us comments there as well. We'd appreciate that. YouTube also appreciates it because YouTube looks at it and says, hey, people are concerned here, they're writing wrong messages here. We'd appreciate that a lot. Okay? Send us super chats. We'd appreciate that a lot. A lot. I want to thank Deep Quake Paul for giving memberships to our program here. That's a lot. That's a lot. That way, when we have members-only meetings, we can come on the air and talk to each member. Each member. We can give you specialized information that you want to hear. Specialized information, if you ask questions, I'll answer the questions. Usually when we have a members-only meeting, I'm asking questions of you. Okay? We're talking about a lot of different things. We appreciate each one of you being here. But write down on paper a preparedness kit. What you're going to put in your preparedness kit, and then begin getting those foodstuffs and water in your kit. Okay? Make sure you have plenty of food in your house. Make sure you have plenty of food in your house. We have about 4 or 5 months worth of food in our house right now. We could possibly lengthen that out to 6 or 7 months, and we're working now for a year's supply of food. We have at least 4 or 5 months of water here in our house. We'd urge you to also have at least 4 or 5 months worth of water. We're talking drinking water and also water enough to wash your hands, to wash clothes with, to wash your cabinets, wash your dishes and everything else. And to drink, brush your teeth with. I recommend at least 1 gallon of water per person per day and up to 3 gallons of water per day. 3 gallons of water per day per person. That way you have water to cook with, water to clean and wash with, and water to flush the toilet. Have that here. Deep Quake Paul just gave another 5 memberships here. He gave memberships to Wolf Moon Media, Dustin K, Dee the Nurse, Jim Williams. And Deep Quake Paul gave himself a membership. Deep Quake Paul, you're an awesome guy. You are. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. If any of you received a membership from Deep Quake Paul today, thank Deep Quake Paul for that. We appreciate that a lot. Again, make a plan writing right now. My plan is over 100 pages long. My emergency preparedness plan details all kinds of emergencies, including earthquakes. Yeah. Make sure your plan details everything, including earthquakes. Okay? Make sure you have food. Make sure you have water. Bottled water. Bottled water, guys. Christine 11B is saying, guys, since earthquakes start, I'm not sure you're going to be able to walk. You're right. The ground below will send out shock waves and energetic motions. The ground is going to bounce. The ground is going to bounce. I've been in earthquakes before. I know what it feels like. You're not going to be able to stand up. If you're standing up, you're going to have to hold on to something because you're not going to be able to stand up by yourself. Fact. But it's just more than earthquakes as well. Detailing your plan to include everything from hurricane, flooding, heavy rainwater, fires, everything. Detail it out. Possibly even active shooters. Detail it out. Explosions of buildings like that one over in Tennessee the other day that killed 16 people. What happens then? You lose a spouse in a great big huge explosion. We've seen this happen before at oil refineries. We've seen train derailments where people are killed. Train derailments that derail and pour chemicals out on the ground, and then, like idiots, they burn it. That was not in the protocol for those chemicals. They should never burn it. The chemicals leached into the ground, leached into creeks and even rivers. The Ohio River was contaminated with toxins, biotoxins in the river. The creeks around that Palestine, Ohio area were contaminated. The ground's contaminated. You can't grow anything there. There was contaminated because they started the chemical on fire all the way out into the Atlantic Ocean. All the way out east into the Atlantic Ocean, they had smoke and chemicals in the air. Poisonous chemicals, people died. Write your preparedness plan talking about every kind of emergency that you might encounter. Then make sure you practice your plan. Make sure your entire family is aware of it. Make sure your entire family is aware of your plan. Once you have a plan and your family's aware of it, then practice your plan. Even up to and including evacuation of your home, evacuation of your business. If you're going to have to evacuate, where are you going to go? Have at least 3 evacuation routes, and then 3 different places you might have to go. You need more than just one. You need at least 3 different places you might have to go. Make sure you can go there. Practice your plan. If you're going to stay in your home, that might be a good idea. Practice your plan, what you're going to do, making sure you secure your home into a fortress. where you and your family are going to be holed up. Practice a plan, guys. This is absolutely essential. Practice your plan. I'm not kidding. The time to do it is now. The time to do this is now. Okay? I am serious as a heart attack. I've never seen it like I'm seeing today. I've never seen this in history of our program. Never. Over 6.5 years I've been doing this, I've never seen this kind of activity ever. Now it's happening. I'm warning you right now. The new manifold is going to bust. It might not happen today or tomorrow, but it's going to bust. USGS said that when the new manifold goes, up to 1,800 people are going to die. And 1,500 people are going to be injured. I think it's going to be a lot more than that. Millions of people live up and down the fault. Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a huge urban corridor. Missouri, St. Louis, up and down the entire fault. Up into Illinois, millions of people are up and down the fault. 2-lane blacktop going north and 2-lane blacktop going east and west. Bridges are going to go down. People on the bridges are going to die. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Plan. Make a plan. Drill your plan. Exercise your plan. Make sure you've got medication. Make sure you've got a great first aid kit. Get some training. Get some training, guys. I'm as serious as a heart attack. Get some training and do it now. Get some first aid training. Take some CPR classes. Also get involved in your community emergency response team in your area. CERT. Get involved. If you don't know what to do, contact me and or your emergency manager for your town or city. If your town or city doesn't have an emergency manager, contact the chief of police, the sheriff, or the fire chief. They'll be able to help you. Okay? I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. With this new surge of quakes, look out. It could happen in a moment's notice. It really could happen within a moment's notice. I'm not kidding. Make sure you get things done and get it done now. Surgery's here saying to have a hard hat, boots and gloves, and eyewear. Absolutely. You're going to need that. Think about everything you need and make sure you start getting it immediately. Immediately. Share this program with your friends and neighbors all over, worldwide. Share with everybody. Everybody has friends and relatives all over this area. Make sure you notify them what's going on. Okay? Make sure you notify them what's going on. Do I have any questions from anybody? I'm happy to take anybody's questions right now. Any questions? Like I said, if you don't have questions now, you find questions, send them to our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. Our address here is 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Our PayPal address is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You can send us donations here. We greatly appreciate it. Help keep this program on the air. We haven't received any donations for quite some time, for almost a month now. We'd appreciate any help you can give us. Honestly, we need it. Guys, in closing here, I've always closed with a devotional at the end of our programs. I'm going to do that right now. For this devotional tonight, I'm going over to the second book of Timothy. Paul's letter to Timothy here. I'm going over third chapter, 13th verse here. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving, and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned, and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Learn things of the Lord. Learn things about the Lord. Don't forget Jesus Christ. Don't forget your Heavenly Father. And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures. I'm sure your family, your mother and father have read the Scriptures to you. I urge you all to get a set of Scriptures and read them. And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Christ Jesus. Last night we talked about faith. In verse 16, all Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be made perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. The Scriptures are for us, so we can have good works, so we can prepare for the Savior's second coming, and live with the Savior and our Heavenly Father forever in heaven. God bless you all. I love each and every one of you immensely. I appreciate you all being here with me today. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. I care, guys. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everyone. Much love. See you soon. God bless.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. Complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning.